All right, so it's a horrible day outside. Freezing rain, everything's kind of shut down. And if you're any of my cousins or anything like that, you know that whenever we had bad weather, it was always time for fried mush at Grandma's house. And I've ruined several batches of mush trying to get it like hers, and I finally honed in on what she did. Number one, she used lard. We all know that. We all laughed about it. We all couldn't believe it, but that's what the woman used. And that's what I'm using. If you want your mush to come out right, use lard. If you want it to come out wrong, don't use lard. So that's just simple as that. When you start your mush, you do that the night before. My better half done this for me. You make your mush and you let it sit in the refrigerator, and then you slice it inside the pan. And I can't get mine as thin as she did, so I have to let it fry longer. Every now and then I screw up and get it right. But low and slow on the fry. And you don't need a whole lot of grease in there, just maybe, just enough to cover the bottom of the pan. So I'll show you about the speed of frying. You'll notice the sound more than anything. That sounds like Fern Taylor's kitchen. First time I ever got it right, I cried. But here's some that I've done before. We always fought over the burnt pieces, remember? Unbelievable. Of course, I use a non-stick cast iron skillet. And you gotta give it time. It's not a quick thing. If you remember, she started her mush before she started anything. If you got your fire too high, it'll stick to the skillet really bad. It'll stick anyway, but it'll stick even worse if you got your fire too high. You can see every time I move it. And that's another thing, you gotta leave it alone or it'll break up in the skillet. I slide a spatula underneath of it just to keep it from sticking a little bit. And then I don't bother it. It's not difficult to make. Follow the instructions on the box. I asked my wife to make it and the way she does, and she laughed at me and said, well, I just make it the way it says it on the box. Well, that's what Grandma did too. She didn't do anything special. Salt, fry it in the pan. That's it. Fried mush. And it is unreal. And you'll screw a few batches of it up. And like I say, I probably throwed away, I don't know how many boxes of mush because I kept screwing it up, but I wanted Grandma's fried mush, so I set about to do it, and I'm there. I can proudly say I can make Fern Taylor fried mush. Got any questions, holler at me.